Hello and welcome to Learning from Lauren. I am Lauren, your host, and today I am here to talk to you about when you're a travel agent and you make a mistake. So, there are a lot of people out there that, think that travel agents are perfect, and they're not. We do make mistakes and things happen. So we want to make sure that we are on top of it and that when you make a mistake, you are being honest. So if you don't know, I am Lauren. I am a travel advisor and I am a teacher. And when I started to become a travel agent as a teacher, I saw that there were a lot of holes, a lot of things that people don't know, and all the things out there are based on agency owners telling you things. And we really need a peer to peer relationship out there for other travel agents. So that's why I created this channel. Now, let's talk about making mistakes because you're going to make mistakes. And hopefully, when you sign up to be a travel agent, your agency owner will say, "We carry errors and omissions insurance." That would be the big thing. If they do not, that means that you do need an errors and omission insurance. And you also might want to decide if you want your own errors and omission insurance. It's kind of your decision based on what it is that you do. If you do larger things like groups and things like that, you probably should have your own insurance. Now, along with that, everyone's going to make some sort of mistake. It could be small, it could be large, anything like that. You just want to make sure that when you do catch those mistakes, that you are honest and quickly tell your client as soon as possible and tell them how you can fix the situation. You want in the email that, "Oh, I missed your final payment date, but I'm calling it in right now and I will get back to you." Or you call and already make the payment and talk to the vendor first that you forgot to make their payment and just let everyone know that, "Okay, I made your final payment date. It was over the phone, just wanting to let you know, but everything is all set and taken care of." And another thing that you might need to do is you might need to pay some differences if you've made a huge mistake. The biggest thing is don't be afraid to talk to your agency owner that you have made a mistake, and they might be able to help guide you with fixing it because there's like a million different things that you could have made a mistake on. I can't list them all, but there are lots of different ways that your agency owner can help you, and they should be able to tell you, like, "Here are the next steps. This is what you need to do." And you might have to stop absolutely everything that you're doing to work on it. And you might be on vacation, or you might have something with your kids that day, and this has to become your priority because it is your mistake. And lots of times in the travel industry, if you make a mistake, you want to fix them as soon as possible to make sure that it's done correctly. Oftentimes, this also means that you are going to need to call the vendor wherever it is and try and get a hold of someone. This is also important because you want to make sure that you can do that and that you understand how to contact that vendor. So anytime I book something, I have like a little running sheet of the contact information, the email, the telephone number that I would need to call if it's like a vendor that I don't normally use. Like I do Disney, so I know Disney and Universal's number, they're all stored there and I have all that information. But different cruise lines, and if I'm using hotels for pre and post stays, I will take that information and I will also email to make sure that everyone, I know that they know that I've made this booking and it's through a travel agent. If they have questions or I might reach out to them, then I have that information. Email is a great source. So, don't forget that email exists and sometimes can be faster than being on the phone. A lot of places might have live chat if it's during the day. So you can always check if the live chat feature is helpful while you're on hold. Don't think that you only have to do one avenue. You can send an email while you're on hold, waiting for someone to pick up and be in the live chat. And it's kind of like whoever can help you first, that's who you're going to kind of go with. But don't be afraid to be trying different things if you really need to get a hold of that vendor. A lot of them also have emergency numbers, so make sure that you can find that information easily. And it's much better to have that information done as soon as you do the booking. So, like, what I'll do is I'll go through my booking process. And once the deposit is made, I'll start like a little form on that person. So I know when I've emailed them, when I've talked to the vendor, the information for the vendor. So I have it all right there. And there's different ways of doing it. So I don't always do it the same way every time. But if it's a new vendor and someone I haven't worked with before, I really make sure that I have all that information ready, available, so I don't have to think about it and I can just go and click and like, okay, that's the email, that's the website, that's the number, and then I can just go and do it. So it's a lot of fun. It's not a lot of fun when you make a mistake, but it's a lot of fun when it's all over and you can finally like breathe a sigh of relief. Now, if you're doing like group travel, you really need to make sure that you have that insurance, and you kind of have to really make sure that you're doing everything possible that that group can be successful and that you're not promising anything to the group that you can't deliver on. So those are simple mistakes and that you can fix right off the bat. I would say as a new agent, or if you're becoming an agent, those first few clients, you'll learn so much. And yeah, you're going to make mistakes. And some of them you don't need to let the client know. Like if you've fixed a mistake and they don't need to know it happens, you don't always need to contact them. But if you like for Disney, we have dining at 60 days. So if I try and reach out to those clients multiple times, but if they don't respond back to me, there is literally nothing I can do. They have to respond back to me in order for me to help them with their dining. I can't just like guess what they might want for dining at that point. So, as long as I've done my part and tried to get them all the information, that is the best that I can do. But that's not a mistake. Okay. A mistake would be if I totally forgot their dining and didn't book it and then they left and they were like, how come we have no dining? That would be a big mistake on my part. Sometimes I know clients that travel agents who have paid for parts of trips to make it up to clients. You know, that customer service recovery is very important. So you want to make sure that whatever it is that you are doing, that you're doing it because you're trying to keep this client and you want to keep this client happy. And that's what you want me to do. Yes, that is very similar to an LLC. So yes, we have talked about that too. But when you're a 1099, which is an independent contractor, you can. So I'm sorry, I'm trying to read this comment. This reminds me of an LLC. Should I have an LLC even if I have a host agency? One of the agencies I talked to said that I don't need an LLC since I'm a 1099. Yes, you don't need an LLC if you're under a 1099. So those are like two separate things. An LLC would be if you wanted to have your own agency eventually. So like I have a different name than my agency, and that I don't know why I ended up doing that, but I just ended up doing that because I was unsure if I wanted to become an agency at one point. But as an agent, if you're a 1099, you don't need an LLC. The way you can cover yourself through an LLC, like an LLC, is with that extra errors and omissions insurance. But your host agency is taking on that risk by having you on and by having you as your agent. I hope that helps answer your question, entrepreneur Isaac. Okay, that will do it for today's show. And we will be back again tomorrow. And I hope you are enjoying this live event in July. I love going live every single day. Just remember, when we come to August, I will not be live anymore. Sometimes I might be, sometimes I won't, but we'll see. And yeah, I've been working on a really good project because a lot of you have asked me for some extra help, some extra mentorship. So I have something that I'm working. Hopefully I'll be able to announce it next week. And that will do it for today's show. So I will see you next time on Learning from Lauren.